This video is sponsored by Card Kingdom. You can visit their store by using my referral link in the description below. Alright, so this is not a great pack. I don't think the Mindbreaker is anything special. I don't think the Disciples is particularly good, It's just too clunky. Going into the format, I thought this would feel like a 6-mana 4/4 that draws you a card. But the more I've thought about that, the less good that seems. And it doesn't always do it anyway. And then our, Harvester's a nice 2-drop. But then a bunch of mediocre commons. I mean, Gigamole is the best of our commons, I think. Might just be the best. I mean, I think that Evangel, whatever, of Synthesis is probably the best card. But, yeah, I think we'll probably take it. Okay. So here we have a Skyfisher Spider, which is great. We've got an Airlift Chaplain. Spotter Thopter's quite good. If we wanted to sort of stick to blue. And then maybe the Thopter's good enough. I mean, I like the Spider a lot. But maybe the Thopter's just good enough to take. It's one of them. Chaplain's good too, but these are both pretty good. I mean, the Spider's pretty easy. You don't need that much help to splash it. So I think we take it. If we are a blue-black deck, it's not going to be that hard to play it. All right, so this is looking a little like our last draft, because now there's a Gaia's Courser, which I think is excellent. And I think is the best card in this pack. I do like Emergency Weld a lot. And it's closer than you'd think to Gaia's Courser. But I think we take the Courser. So we got a Ritualist. It's okay. This is a weird card. I don't know what came over me in my set review to think this would be a B+. I don't know. I'm usually someone who underrates cards, but I really overrated this one. I was just excited about all the ramp in the format, and it's a thing, but it's not that good of a card. I mean, we might take it here, but I think maybe Goring Warplow is just better. Sadly. Yeah, probably is. Probably is. We'll take the Warplow here. Prototypes are just so good. Okay. So, No One Left Behind, been a kind of a disappointment. Rust Goliath's not bad. I mean, if we're going to be black-green, it's something we can play later. 5 is a lot to pay for ramp, but I was thinking, I thought this format was going to have a lot of, be sort of like Domain was in the other format where half the decks are Power Stone ramp. And if that was true, it would be better, but they aren't. It's a fifth probably. So that makes a difference. Don't like either of those uncommons. I think the best card in this pack is probably Airlift Chaplain. I think we take Rust Goliath in the end, though. It's a nice thing to ramp into, and it's a fine 5-drop. Okay, Scrapwork Rager is pretty exciting to still be here. Yeah, pretty easy Scrapwork Rager. Great common. What's really funny is if you go and look at the comments for my Retro Frame Artifact review, there are a lot of people who they haven't played with the card before, who have the same evaluation I had last time, where I was like, it just costs too much mana, it's too slow, you have to already have a really good creature. I mean, and it is easy to think that. It's easy to think about the situations where your opponent will blow up your creature in response to equipping and stuff like that, and it happens, but, that tempo hit hurts, but it happens a low percentage of the time, and if they don't do that, your opponent just loses. So it's it's way better than it looks. Okay, so Weakstone Subjugation is pretty good. And we're not, completely invested in being green-black. And I do think the subjugation is enough better than shoot down that's where I'm going to go here, and we'll see what happens. Yeah. So it is the kind of card, like, if you've never played with it before, it's like, you know, I see the power, but it's slow. But, yeah. I mean, my misevaluation of it was, it's a common evaluation of the card. But it's just funny to me that in those comments where I explain in the video where I'm like, look, you know, I was really wrong about this once, and it's incredibly good. And you still have people in the comments who are like, you're wrong, it's awful. Well, nobody said it was awful. Nobody thought it was ever quite as bad as I did, but a lot of people thought it was like a C, you know. Not a very good pack. So, Dwarven Forge Chanter is probably the best card in it. I think I'm going to take a Perimeter Patrol. Yeah. There's a Disciples. I mean, it does load the graveyard. The thing that's a bummer about it is it only gets artifacts. I feel like they should have made it get creatures. It would be so much better. And it wouldn't be too good for Constructed because it's 6 mana. Like, it's not going to be setting up Reanimator decks in Legacy, you know? So, I guess the Bulwark's okay if we end up in a blue-green deck. Blue-green or blue-black. So I think it's what I'll take. Because that pack just doesn't have anything good in it. Okay, so Moment of Defiance is nice. Latinum Adept is okay. It's no, you know, Evangel of Synthesis. It's very strange that I have such a hard time with that word. But as I've explained before, it's because it's a word I learned when I was like 9 from playing Magic. And even though I study medieval religious history, I have a hard time with the word as a result. So let's take Moment, though. It's a nice trick for anybody. Clay Revenant. There's a bunch of words that I learned from Magic cards and saying them around other people who don't know how to say the words. And, yeah. So we'll take a Clay Revenant here. Okay, so Honor Guard's okay. Power Plant Worker's okay. Yeah, the Bulwark is playable. You just have to end up in blue. And a defensive blue deck. If you're like a blue-red tempo deck, you don't really want it. I mean, I think the Honor Guard's fine. I think Desynchronize is fine, too. Not nearly as obviously open as our first draft of the day was. Pretty good red card here. Ooh, so there's a Battery Bearer. Interesting. And we certainly have the potential to be a green-blue deck. We've already got some ramp going. Well, I guess we don't have ramp, but we do have something to ramp into. Battery Bearer is quite strong, so that's definitely on the table. Meanwhile, there's also an Overwhelming Remorse, which is, you know, a great black card. I kind of think Battery Bearer might just be better for us, though. And we sort of lean into blue-green ramp. Boulder Branch Golem's nice, too. And it is good in a wider variety of decks. I do think blue seemed really open in that last pack, so... Okay. Well, you know, sometimes you think you're going to do something, and then you get a Gix's Command, and you've already got a few playable black cards, so why would you not take it? So, probably means we're going green-black now. Yeah. So we'll take it. Must have been a Helm of the Host or something in that pack. Okay, so Fauna Shaman's kind of cool. You know, lets you ramp into stuff and load your graveyard. The Steel Seeker is nice if, you know, you just need several artifacts, and it's pretty good. There's also an Emergency Weld, which I always love. Ironcroc Crusher's not bad. This pack has a lot of options. I do feel like this is probably where we are now. I think I like the Steel Seeker a little more than the Shaman. I mean, if I end up with like a crazy bomb that is a creature, Fauna Shaman's better, but I think most of the time the Steel Seeker's just better. Draws you more cards and stuff. So, Gnawing Vermin's nice. There's another Evangel of Synthesis. Which is interesting. You know, if we were going to pivot into blue-black, you don't really want to splash this because it's not that good on its own, and you kind of want to play it early for it to be at its best. So, I think we take Gnawing Vermin here. There's the Temporal Inker, which we had some fun with in one draft. Thrain Vigil's kind of interesting. It just is very hard to make it work. Oh, the green-blue signpost? Yeah, we could try, but I doubt we're going to be that into ramp in the end. Killzone Acrobat or Thraxodemon. It's basically the choice we're making here. The demon's fine, I think. We're not playing this Bulwark if we're not in blue. Swiftfoot Boots is a little interesting here. We do have some big creatures we'd like to protect. The Locust isn't bad. Giant Growth isn't bad. You do need, you know, it's just finding the right things to put the boots on is a lot harder than you'd think in Limited. I think I just go Locust in the end. Okay, so Blanchwood Prowler's pretty good. Alright, so we can grab an Evolving Wilds here, which does open the door towards splashing, and I think I'd rather do that than pick up any of this other stuff. Alright, another Gnawing Vermin. Do I like it more than Argothian Sprites? I mean, right now, we're not that much of a graveyard deck, but we are sort of likely to get there in a bigger way. And Gnawing Vermin is certainly better in those situations, so... See, here's a graveyard payoff thing, that's fine. And there's an Emergency Weld. Damn. Ironclaw Crusher's also pretty good, but I think Emergency Weld is just better. Same for Warplow. They're both good, but man, getting something back from your graveyard and making a 1/1 is just good. Like, the first copy of that should be valued over many of the commons and uncommons in this set. Take an Acrobat here. It's fine. Especially when you have Gnawing Vermins, it gets a little better. It is funny we ended up in black-green again. I mean, it's not how we started, but the world wanted us to go in that direction. Okay. Lots of juice in this pack. So, Gruesome Realization's pretty good. Sometimes you can really get a one-sided board wipe going. And the draw 2 is good too. But I think we're kind of into one of these removal spells. We don't have that much removal right now. And I think I probably want Remorse a little more than I want Disfigure. I do like Self-Assembler when you can really get it going. I haven't yet to do it in this format, surprisingly, but... yeah, I think we take Remorse. Alright, I think Scrapwork Rager is probably a little better than the Gigamole. I mean, we do need to mill ourselves some, but we're not so desperate to do it that I think Scrapwork Rager isn't better than the Gigamole. Like, this is a 3-for-1 potentially, and it's always, pretty much always, a 2-for-1. So, meanwhile, the Gigamole, you know, it's nice and all, but it'll give you a 2-for-1 like 80% of the time. And this will give you a 2-for-1 like 90% of the time, and a 3-for-1, you know, not that often, but sometimes. So, I think we want the Rager more. So, Corrupt is interesting. Especially because our other options in this pack are underwhelming. I think we probably take Corrupt. And we lean a little into black more, and that's not that hard. Most of our low drops are black, so, you know, we need to run like 11 swamps, maybe, to make it work, but which is a lot, but the other options in the pack just aren't good, so I'm going to take Corrupt and see what happens. There's another Corrupt. Once I have 2 Corrupts, things start to get a little interesting. Like, really interesting. Like, I might go mostly black. It's not that hard to do, honestly. Corrupt is strong enough. There is a flask here, too, which is sweet. Maybe it'll wheel. I think the responsible thing to do here is take Disfigure, but I really want to try a 2 Corrupt deck that's almost entirely black, so I'm going to do it. I mean, I just want to try it. Okay, so Battlefield Butcher's pretty good. Plus Corrupt is like an old school, very cool card, so, you know, another Gnawing Vermin. I think we're down. Some green cards that aren't bad. But I am sort of trying to limit the number of green cards I have. Probably don't play Rust Goliath because of the double green on the prototype. I guess Moment of Defiance is fine. Okay. All right. Well, there's the big payoff. We get a 3rd Corrupt. This is going to be interesting. And we get a Disfigure in the end, too. And a Gigamole. Man. We may almost go mono black, you guys. Like, we can do it with the way our deck turned out. Like, Splash Skyfisher Spider, and that's it? Maybe? Okay. All right, I like it. And there's the Elsewhere Flask combo. Yeah, it was a weird draft because we were sort of leaning into blue-black, and then we were like, black-green. And then, yeah, crazy stuff happened. We may not even need the flask. Like, I can run like 2 forests in this deck, and it'll be a pretty good deck overall, I think, is what's wild. Not sure if it's going to be good, but it will be fun. It's true. Like, trying out the... It also is nostalgic, with Corrupt being a very old card. All right, we need to look a little harder at our green. Maybe we run something else that's green. I don't know, though. I don't know if we do. I don't really want to run Clay Revenant if I can help. Yeah, the 4/5 might make it in. It is our best green card. I mean, the Steel Seeker's pretty good too, but we're actually not that artifacty, so it's not going to be that good in our deck anyway. But I could put the Courser in. We do have Self-Mill. Not a mountain of it, but we have it. So... And we probably just don't need the Flask. Like, that combo's cool, but you play that combo when you have to run a bunch of other lands, and we don't have to. We're going to run, like, 3 forests tops. The thing is, if I don't play the Courser, I can actually run probably 2 forests. But yeah, I don't really think we need the Flask. In terms of sacking, we're not that good at it, but we have ways to do it. We've got Thraxo Demon, we've got Killzone Acrobat. I guess those are the only ones, huh? Yeah, okay. So the Infiltrator's not great. It is a 2-drop, and we don't have that many, so maybe it stays. And I'll cut a Moment of Defiance, I think. Do I want to run... I mean, I could literally go mono black here. Like, I could do it. And it is tempting, like, just to try it out. Like, but the Courser and the Skyfisher Spider are so good that I think playing them makes sense. It's just a question of, do I really want to run this many forests? You know, I say we could go mono black, but we only kind of can. We'd have to run some pretty subpar black stuff like Intervention and Revenant. It's a tough choice. It's a tough one. I mean, it's tempting to just go full-on mono black. However, these two cards are good enough. Yeah, I've convinced myself. Those two cards are good enough that we do it. We've still got 14 swamps in our deck. So, you know, we're going to be doing a lot of damage with our corrupts, to say the least. Yeah. Okay. Pretty solid hand. I mean, obviously, we'd like some more mana, but we can load our graveyard a bit. Have a nice one-drop. We may mill some corrupts, of course, but, you know, it's whatever. we do mill one right off the bat. That's pretty funny. But we also make our Battlefield Butcher better and stuff like that, so... Ooh, they played Argoth. Trying to decide how I want to trade here or attack or whatever. I think I'd probably attack. Especially with the Butcher in our hand and other cards that care about that sort of thing. I think we play the Locust now, though. The mana problems we're having are not a lot of fun, but hopefully we can find our way out of them. Yeah, that's not going to save you. You do get to kill the Sprite, though. Enters tapped, huh? So I can play this for 2 right now, which I think means we probably just attack with our Locust and then play the Vermin and start using the Butcher's ability. Oh, the mill luck has not been on our side. Hitting 2 swamps is a little brutal. But we're in pretty good position in this game, nonetheless. The Butcher can use the ability for 2. We can swing away in the sky. Okay. We ended up going mostly mono black. We're playing 2 green cards, 2 of them. I think... Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Yeah, I guess we kind of just have to let this happen. We could use Moment of Defiance, but it doesn't accomplish anything, so... It does make this ability cheaper. So the question is, do I search up a forest? Or a swamp? I think probably a forest is the responsible thing to do here. This costs 1 now. That's cool. All right. So we could play the Skull Flare and start getting that clock going. That actually sounds pretty good. It will quickly become large. Sort of requires another removal spell from them. Here's your battlefield, Butcher. Hilarious that we drew another forest. So you can get your toughness up to 5. They can do a max of 4 to you. Kind of seems like I should attack with the Skull Flare. But then I don't have the most amazing blocks, but they're also at 9. So yeah. Let's rumble. So emergency weld. There's some options. Do I like any of them? I guess the idea of getting back Carrion Locust is interesting because, or Gnawing Vermin rather, because I could sack it. Or no, I have a Gnawing Vermin in play already. The Acrobat could sack the Vermin, kill this, and get in the air. I mean, I do think we weld here. I'm just trying to decide how I want to do it. I guess going after their graveyard isn't a bad plan either. With the flyer, yeah. The flyer is probably just better. Let's get the locust. The always flyer, I should say. Man, that's a big creature. Alright, so we can corrupt for 4 here. Probably hold off for now and just play the Locust. Get that clock going. Also get rid of a card in their graveyard so the Courser is less likely to draw them cards. All right. We will kill this. They're like, should I attack? They decide not to. Guess we just play Scrapwork Rager here. More swamps would be cool. Yeah. So we're up to 5 now on Corrupt. Yeah. Yeah, that's big. Can't imagine. Oh, right, they are going to attack. Works for me. No. Come on. Okay, well. How about that? I think we just fire Corrupt off on them here. And then do it again next turn. Yep, they're dead. They're dead to Corrupt number 2. Nice. Let's hope they go like that from here on out. Yeah, Corrupt is sweet to play with again, too. Just I remember thinking it was like the best card in the world when I was a kid, so... It's nice to play with it. Okay, I do think we can keep, you know... the mana is a little sketchier than I would like, but we have a 1-drop and a 2-drop. I do think we play the 1-drop right away instead of Evolving Wilds first. Yeah, so we'll play the Vermin. I do probably have to grab a Forest with the Evolving Wilds, but we'll see. I think for now I delay what I'm going to do with the Wilds. Although hitting another Swamp, I mean, I'd like to play the Infiltrator is the thing. But if I do that, I can't play anything next turn. But, we'll play the Infiltrator. We'll defer the decision for now. Alright, well. So, let's attack with... I think both. Because we kind of need it to get out of the way. And then we can exile it with the Locust. Oh, you're right. It will trigger off the Wilds. That's wild. I think we still attack here. Yeah. And then we play Locust and exile the Rock Hunter. Probably end up grabbing a Forest with the Wilds like a responsible human being. Not being able to gain life is kind of a problem for us. But we only need one more land for Gix's command, so... Feels like they're going to kill something. Okay. Sacking the Vermin here to the Acrobat and killing the Rock Hunter seems pretty good. We crack in for 5. We continue to hold on to our command. Yeah. I think that's good. We could still use the command this turn if we really want to. I'm not sure I want to. I mean, what am I going to do with it? I guess I could have used it already to kill their thing. I could kill their thing and get 2 things back for us. I think we probably just hold off, though. We may just win the game with Corrupt next turn. Yeah, I think we hold on. Okay. So we're doing 5 with Corrupt here. I mean, how likely is it they have a spell? Reasonably likely. It does make it a little scary to attack with the Locust. I think I just attack with the Acrobat for now. If that trade sticks, I'd probably cast Gix's command here, kill their creature, and get 2 things back. If it ends up not being a trade, I may choose an alternate path. It's not going to be a trade. Might still do it. It would kill their flyer, and then I get 2 things back. Yeah, it seems pretty good. I can play Gnawing Vermin right away, but the Acrobat is definitely... Oh, yeah, I guess we'll get back Acrobat and Vermin. I can play the Vermin now. This Cinder Mob preventing life gain could really end up being a problem if we can't just kill them, you know? Ooh. So we're going to have to corrupt that Cinder Maw, and we're not going to gain the life back, which is kind of brutal. I do think we block Felden here. They do get to draw a card, sort of. What was that? Machine over matter, huh? Yeah, we're gonna have to corrupt the Cinder Maw here, which is okay, but it's not ideal, you know. If I was gaining the life, it would be awesome, but I'm not. Our opponent made sure of that. Okay, that's less than ideal. Luckily I can play out 2 bodies. They have to use Might Over Matter now or they don't get to use it, so they're probably just going to use it. Does mean I get to do 1 damage to them again, which is a thing. Still 1 Corrupt left in the deck. Interesting. Um, So, I do think we play the Locust. Get rid of the Cinder Maw, probably. Ruined our lives. Or our life gain, anyway. Anyway, so Skull Flayer is definitely the best blocker. But getting back Gnawing Vermin is... Like, making 2/1/1s here is surprisingly good. So I think I'm just going to do that. Get back Gnawing Vermin. It's, like, great on the board, too. How do we still have this many cards in our library? I'm a little surprised. Still one Corrupt left. Alright, luckily I have the third body here, so I do think we take one. And luckily we have two more things to play. Do I chip in for one here? Probably... yeah. Probably, yeah. Let's hope they don't have another emergency cooldown. It would be very bad for us. I was sort of counting on them not having another one. I can sack the tapped Vermin this turn to kill the Iconoclast, which is nice. Yeah, Corrupt off the top would be cool. This is a close one. Pretty spicy. So... yeah, that is pretty nasty. Makes it a lot harder for me to kill the Iconoclast. Sort of feels like I have to block the token with my Acrobat. I mean, I go to 2 if I don't. Then next turn, I attack with the Acrobat, sack this, and leave back 2 blockers, but kill the Iconoclast. And they still have a 3/3 that I can't really deal with. Not good. I guess I can block it with a 1/1, though. Yeah, we unfortunately have to block. Nice draw. You know, I do go to 3 or 4, but maybe I hit another thing I can actually play right away. I do. And I think we probably just play it out as a smaller creature. These are going to untap next turn. Yeah. We just need as many bodies as we can get. I mean, especially because they have bounce and stuff. We need them to draw a land. Can they do that for me? Draw a land. Okay, we got there. Corrupt was just a mediocre removal spell in that game. Because we didn't even gain life with it. But it was removal, and that's what we needed at the time, so... 6 mana, do 5 at sorcery speed is not a good removal spell, but it worked out. Double Corrupt. Oh, it's pretty good. Got to get to the later game, but... Oh my god. Is this a situation where I just grab a Swamp with Evolving Wilds because I know I have all 3 of my Corrupts? Kind of feels like it is. I'm going to think on that a little more. Drawing green cards would be bad, of course. But we've only got 2. And if Gigamole, like, mills one, we don't really need to worry about it. You know? Man. I'm gonna just get the Swamp. Let's do it. There's our friend Gnawing Vermin. I think we play the Butcher here, though. I mean, I guess the Vermin is pretty threatening, but I may as well use all my mana. See if they play an Obliterating Bolt here. Corrupt is a very old card, so it's not that surprising that its name wasn't taken. It's a reprint, like the 4th time maybe it's been reprinted. Okay, I mean, if they have a trick or whatever, let them use it. I mean, that works for me too. Sort of stretching the game out. I think I play Gigamole. Yeah. Warplow or Vermin? That's a good question. I can get the other back. So... we know the Vermin's good against Rock Hunter and stuff. I think I'm going to grab the Vermin. It is funny I'm playing with 3 Vermin in this hand with my rat sleeves. With this deck, I mean. We only have 1 Vermin. Well, 1 rat right now. I guess you could consider Hamster Vermin. Yeah, that's going to chip away at us in the air, but it's not too alarming for me. That was 2 lands? Yeah. 'Twas 2 lands. Ah, we drew the green card. Swamp, okay. Could have used those, but you know. Also sort of trying to set up Emergency Weld. My goodness. I just milled 4 straight swamps, which probably, you know, this is the kind of thing that people who believe mill is all downside will point to. But, like, it's not. Alright, so let's Emergency Weld. It just went, you know, it can go this way, but it was mostly just bad luck that made it go this way. Let's get the Warplow. It's not like we don't still have a bunch of swamps in our deck. You know? So, you know, we did mill 4. 5. We've milled 5. That is kind of maddening. Okay. So, that is big. I I think I probably just want to play the War Plow here. Mill is best removal. It actually wasn't our Gigamole that gave us the 4-for-1. I don't think drawing 5 swamps in a row is bad when you have 3 corrupts in your hand. I'm just throwing that out there. I think it's pretty good, in fact. Alright, we can remorse something, which is nice. But I'm not super worried right now. I think I'm just going to play the Rager, try to hit some more lands. We've been punished in this game. Like, you know, first we decided not to get a forest because of our 3 corrupts. So we've drawn our only 2 green cards. And then, yeah. Wild. If we ever get a forest, Skyfisher Spider will be pretty absurd with those gnawing vermin, but we have to get them. We do still have 2 forests in our deck on the bright side. Yeah, that's a problem. That's gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt a lot. I'm gonna have to kill the Philagi. Ugh. I deserve to be punished to some extent, but man. Come on. Come on, magic gods. Oh, the punishment is real. Yeah, we're dead. All right. 3 corrupt hand, mill 4 swamps. What are you going to do? I wonder if we would have won, even if we drew all those swamps, given what our opponent ended up doing. Probably. I mean, I would have had to use the 2 of the corrupts as removal, most likely. I think the thing that's the most different in that game is if we actually search up a forest with Evolving Wilds. Because then we ended up drawing both of those green cards, and they both would have been good. All right. I did only have 2 corrupts in my opening hand, and then I drew the 3rd one off the top. To be fair. See, those swamps, I'm kind of happy to mill. We also know we can get our, yeah. Yeah, 6, 7, and then 8. I guess that probably does do lethal and gain us enough life to not die to their aggro. Right now, we feel like the aggro deck. Something's probably going to die here, I would imagine. Okay, maybe not. You really don't want to mill an opponent and pray they hit bombs in a format with lots of unearth and lots of ways to get creatures back from the graveyard, Jay Dorfer. You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. Okay. Well, we're going to be set up for those corrupts, and Evolving Wilds will actually buff our Infiltrator, which is fun. I think I probably just take 4 here from the Cindermaw. Free Chromatic Star is pretty fun. Or they don't attack me. Works for me. I do think we play a land. That way we can leave up mana for Remorse. And we'll just pass. Maybe they're trying to ramp into a Worm Coil engine. This kills it entirely, as I learned from my Worm Coil engine experiences. Look, an Airlift Chaplain. The card ended up being a problem for us earlier. Just like chipping away at us all game. Alright, so I don't think I want to fire Remorse off on anything at this point. This game, it's all about the lands. And we even milled 2. Thank God we milled 2 lands. Another free Chromatic Star. Are they gonna, like, scrap trawler us or something? Could happen. Okay, well, I'm glad I held on to Overwhelming Remorse, because that is the biggest problem. Can they save it? They can. Uh-oh. Come on, Corrupts, where you at? Emergency Well doesn't do much for us right now. Are we going to lose to an Airlift Chaplain coming at us in the air every turn again? Could happen. Okay, maybe we'll mill something we want to get back with our Vermin. Probably going to mill 2 Corrupts with it, the way things have gone. Corrupt. No, but we did mill Gix's Command. My God. All right. We do have something we can get back, though. Oh, yeah. Corrupt can hit face. That is key. Still have all 3 Corrupts in our deck, at least. We definitely aren't good at stopping flyers. We have the 1 Spider. And, yeah, that's what we got. Ooh, Thraxodemon's kind of interesting. Yeah, we do have the forest ready to go for when, or if or when we draw those things. So yeah, Thraxodemon plus Infiltrator is sort of a thing, but obviously with the Assembler over there, it's not enough of a thing. There's a corrupt. We can corrupt for 7, which is not enough to kill Autonomous Assembler. I think we probably just hold on to it, bleed them out a little more with the Butcher. We can actually use both of these abilities every turn. And if I use that one first, it's actually going to be cheaper. Yeah. Yeah, obviously 2 corrupts to face is lethal, but we can't just... I think it's better. My plan's better, you guys. We're in pretty good position to still use it and not die, so I think that's good. They're not in a deck that's going to make me discard, so we don't get to gain any life from it, so that makes it doubly unattractive in terms of, you know, stopping them. Trying to decide if I want to just prevent 1 damage here by sacking a Gnawing Vermin. It's not the worst plan I've ever had. Yeah. Disfigure off the top. Oh, there's a spider. That'll work. Okay, so we take 1. Interesting. Okay. So I think we probably play Skyfisher and kill the Assembler. That's our goal, anyway. Putting a creature card in my graveyard has some value, but... Sacrifice another creature. Yes. Also up to a 5/4 Infiltrator, which is fun. Do they save the Assembler again? No. This time they do not. Now, I think we attack with our Infiltrator. So even if I Moment of Defiance or sack something in response, it's dead, so I think that's fine. Should be able to finish them off with Corrupt and an attack here in the very near future. Like, next turn. In particular, next turn. Okay, so I think we use Moment of Defiance here. Keeps it from dying. Yeah. I don't get to gain life, unfortunately, but I think trading it for the Chaplain is fine. And they decide not to attack. Works for me. Okay. So we're doing 7 with Corrupt. We just need 5 to get through. Right now, this ability costs 3. But if they block and kill something, it'll cost 2. So it's probably better not to attack with it and to attack with everything else. I could also corrupt a creature instead, but I think going face with corrupt is probably better. Especially because we know they could protect their creatures. They have to block and kill something, so... see what they got here. Riposte would be kind of bad, I guess. Gain back a significant chunk of life. Alright, disenchant is less bad. Looks like we're gonna get there. Yeah, we don't really need to gain the life. So we will just corrupt. Yeah! Corrupt for the win, baby. So the only game we lost is the one where I got really greedy and got punished for it. You know, where I didn't search up a forest. Because I had 2 corrupts and then drew the 3rd corrupt at the top of the library. And I was like, let's just go for it. And then the deck was like, you did the wrong thing. We're going to mill all of your swamps. Looks pretty good. You know, early removal, 2-drop. We got a corrupt in the opening hand. Have our green mana in our opening hand, too. I do think we just play out the War Plow. Get a body out there. Don't quite have anything to do with my mana this turn, which is always sad, but could cycle Moment of Defiance to try to hit a 4th land, but that's kind of annoying, you know, when your Disfigure doesn't quite do the job. We had a 4th land anyway, so that's good. Yeah, if they blocked, obviously I used Moment of Defiance there. They didn't, though. Alright, Corrupt is getting online quickly here. Yep. That is always a pretty sweet play. Mightstone's animation has been really nice overall. Yeah, I guess we just play out the Courser now and pass. Alright, so that does a thing, but I could still trade my War Plow for the Mightstone animated Chromatic Star, so I'm not too upset. Luring them into a block here would be pretty nice. Also, getting in for 2 is perfectly fine. I mean, we want to chip in for damage while we can, generally speaking. Alright. Yeah, so they really got a 3-for-1 out of the star, which was gross. For sure. want to play the Acrobat or the Butcher. Seems like the Acrobat has more of a shot at doing things. Like, I can sack this Courser and chip in for 3 here, which is pretty good, I think. Could use Disfigure as a trick to get the Gigamole out of the way, but I think we probably just want to kill Thopter Mechanic with it. So we're up to 6 on Corrupt. Butcher can bleed them out too. Alright, so there's a Mechanic. The annoying thing about the Mechanic is it does make a Thopter when it dies. Don't love that. But I also don't want it to get big. I'd rather a 1/1 Thopter be chipping away at us in the air than it get really big, so. Enjoy your Thopter. Okay, we're up to 7 on Corrupt. Bad news is our opponent could potentially make us discard in this game. Trying to decide if I just want to fire it off on their dome here. I don't think so. Okay. Down to 13 they go. So I can emergency weld and get the War Plow. That's pretty good. Sack the token, chip in for 3. Yeah, that works. We go to 10. We play War Plow. I could corrupt them here and then just hope I can bleed them out the rest of the way. But if I just draw Swamp next turn, I might be able to do it anyway. And this way, we are at least adding something significant to the board. Or trying to. They might counter it. And if they counter it, that's fine. Yeah, so they wouldn't have been able to counter Corrupt, I guess, on the flip side of things. But, you know. Please don't make me discard. I really don't want to discard. So, I think we do block the Transmigrant. They can get it back. They can get it back as a 4/2, but I think that's fine. Do I try and chip in for 3 here? Okay, well now we can go. We have 2 alternate routes that might give us lethal. So Corrupt does have to resolve with both of them, but there's not really a counterspell. I guess there's Urza's Rebuff, which would be really bad news. So I guess I fire off Corrupt first, because if I corrupt them and then do these other things, or do the other things and then corrupt them and they counter Corrupt, it's way worse. So let's just cast Corrupt on them. If I have Urza's Rebuff, I'm going to be very sad. There's a chance they have it. Okay, so then let's use this ability. All right, we did it. No rebuff. All right, pretty good. A little curve out. The vermins are especially good at deterring like early aggression. Infiltrator's overperformed a little in this deck, I think, if we want to talk about overperforming. Thraxodemon, I think probably is what I want to play here. Yeah. It's good, you know, if they play any X1, the vermin, sacking the vermin to the demon kills it, so hard not to set that up as a potential plan. Okay. I think we play the Skull Flayer now. They're trying to ramp into something, and right now we don't exactly have removal for big scary things. Alright, could be worse. I think we attack with Skull Flayer here, and then if they block, we sack Gnawing Vermin to Thraxodemon to kill the Thopter. Put both of those on top. Yeah, not too surprising they elected to take it. So let's play Gnawing Vermin number 2. Almost got online with Gixie and Skull Flayer. Yeah, there's a little bit of incentive in the format to be monocolored. Frankly, I think Corrupt is the best incentive. The other cards in that cycle are, like, nice, but not as worth going all in on. Bit of a bummer we mailed our emergency weld, but we do still have Gix's command, so. I mean, it's easier to end up monocolor, but I think if you do it, most of the time you're leaving too much power on the table. I mean, even this deck would have left significant power on the table if we had cut our last our only two green cards. Yeah, that's pretty good. Makes my life a lot more difficult in terms of stuff. I'm a little surprised by this, but I will gladly take it. Next turn we could play a big War Plow. That is a pretty exciting disfigure. The one thing they might have here, which would make me a little sad, is the 1 blue mana bounce spell, which they could use because they have an artifact. They could use it for 1 because they have an artifact creature, so... Alright. I mean, ideally, I think we kill these 2 things. And that's what I'm going to go for. The only problem is, if they do have the bounce spell, nothing dies. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but if they don't have it, they get completely blown out here. So... They don't have it, and they get completely blown out. Works for me. I think we hold on to the War Plow at this point. You know, it's just going to be a great creature. Oh, they do shut down the Skull Flayer. Poor guy. We can sack it to something later, theoretically. Okay, so don't think we attack with the Vermin or the Infiltrator, actually. I think I just attack with the Rager here. And then we'll play a big old War Plow. Hold on to this land for now. All 3 corrupts are still in the library. Okay, I mean, I don't imagine this is actually going to work, but I'd be happy if it did, if I get to kill Air Marshal. Yeah, I was just saying, I'm sure they just sack it, so... And that is what happened. Yeah, I haven't been that impressed with the enchantment that makes your artifacts and red creatures hit harder. Okay, so we can sack this and kill Air Marshal. I think that's the play. I mean, the awkward thing, you know, I kind of want the game to go long and corrupt them, but this is going to be pretty effective at getting us there. Interestingly, I could actually sack the Vermin and kill the Talisman and the Marshal, but I think holding on to the Vermin has some value here, and this isn't doing anything. We don't even have Epic Confrontation or anything like that, so yeah. Let's just kill the Air Marshal. Try to. May get countered. Because then we swing for 11. I mean, you know, we don't have to wait for Corrupt. We haven't won a game yet without at least one Corrupt in the mix. Even the game where Corrupt was a bad removal spell, I mean, we still won, so it counts. But we won that one with no corruption. Didn't have to get Corrupt for that one. I think it feels like it was right to play those 2 green cards. I mean, especially the Spider has come up big. And our Corrupts have still been super powerful. So. Slow hand for sure. I kind of need some rats to show up, but we're going first. I think I can keep it. I can cycle this in a worst case scenario. Okay, we hit a Locust at least. Probably not going to exile anything, but hey. Oh, actually, maybe it will. No creature, but I do get to exile something. It's almost more likely they can get back lands than it is giant growth in their color. Let's hit the land, I guess. Yeah, it's not great. Okay. Not bad. Does set up some stuff with Skyfisher Spider. Let's attack them for 2. Play an Infiltrator. Attack me for 4. I do not appreciate that. Probably gonna have to Skyfisher Spider here, and I probably kill the 3/2 for now. First we'll attack them for 2. Then we'll play Spider. So if they kill our Spider, we can just emergency weld it back like we have before. Sack the token and kill something. Yep. That's probably going to be the plan. There's a Corrupt. We would need 1 more mana to actually emergency weld and play the Spider. But I can weld to get it back, make a 1/1, and then have Overwhelming Remorse up, which I think is fine. Probably just take 3 here. Hope our Corrupts will do the job. We did hit 2 forests, which is kind of unfortunate. So we're probably going to play the Spider and kill... No, they didn't hit any creatures. So it's big now. Maybe I want to kill it more. I mean, I could kill them both. With the tricks that we have, obviously. With the removal, rather, that we have. Am I worried about a Ravenous Gigamole? I mean, it's pretty big right now. I can't do much to contend with it. This does exile. And then I still have Corrupt to lean back on. Yeah, we'll kill the Gigamole. Alright, well... we really need to hit that 6th land is what we need to do. 2, 4, 5, 6. So they're ramping for sure. And that could end up being a problem if I don't have any more removal. But I think slowing their roll with my 2 Corrupts in hand is probably also a pretty good idea. The only 2 forests in our deck are here. We did have our Spider, so I guess I can't complain too much, but you know. That is interesting. Almost certainly means they have giant growth or something like it. Probably not worth it. I'm okay with going to 9. Okay. That's a nice draw. I think we attack here. So, hold on. If they still have giant growth, we end up losing combat, so never mind. Let's just play our... Well, let's go to combat. I doubt anything will happen. Then we'll play our courser. So gain is 3 when it dies right now. That's probably worth more than getting to 3 for the courser. We do still have our Gix's command, which could get back the spider again, which is always nice, but... So yeah, giant growth, still a problem, but... I think we probably make him use it now. And I'd rather lose the spider. They don't have to use it if they don't want to. I mean, it would save their opportunist, but they may just want to trade, which I'm okay with. Yeah. And we will gain... Do I want to gain 3? When this will be able to attack, and I'm going to gain more life. Yeah, I don't think so. I guess the problem is if they still have mana up for giant growth, could be in some trouble here. Okay, so corrupts are doing 4 now. We are going to attack. We get to draw before anything else happens, so even if they kill it or something. Yeah, you should have killed it before I attacked. So thank you. Nice. Okay, so we'll play Gnawing Vermin. End our turn. Still one more Corrupt in the deck. Whole lot of Swamps left in the deck. And our, what's it called? The, command. So, pretty good chance here that they have giant growth again. I don't think there's any real reason for us to block, given that information. Interesting. Alright, so corrupts are up to 5. I think we chip in for 1 here if they let us. Do I just corrupt them once? Kind of don't think so. 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, they'll each do 5, which is nice, but not enough. It does take us up to 13, which makes it very hard for them to kill us. And it's not like Moment of Defiance is doing a whole lot right now. Yeah, I'm going to corrupt them for 5. That's the great thing about Corrupt, is it helps you play more Corrupts, you know? Whoa, what happened? There it goes. Alright, so they gain back some life. Okay, well that Corrupt doesn't feel so good now, does it? Alright, so I think we pass. May try to use Moment of Defiance defensively so that I can kill both of these. I don't think they're going to be blocking, so... Could still have giant growth, but... Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not good. Well. 3... Alright, that helps significantly. don't think we're going to get there in this one, though. Titania's command is tough to beat. I think if we're going to, we're going to have to get incredibly lucky. So let's play a small one of those. And I think we have to go to the face with this. I mean, we can kill a creature. Is it better to kill a creature? I mean, kill a creature gains 7 is quite good. And maybe gets us to where we can make the game go longer and find our command. Yeah, okay. That's the responsible thing to do. Darn it. Kind of also needed to trade that for one of them. Okay, Gigamole. Give us a couple creatures. Well, you gave me one. I will take it. I mean, it was only ever going to give me one. I guess what I meant is not an exciting one. Yeah, so now we have to block Ugly here just to survive, and if they have removal, we're just dead. It looks like they probably have removal. Yeah. Dang. Yeah, it's too bad they gained all that life after that first corrupt. Should have held on to it to be removal, I guess. Seems like that was maybe the more optimal decision. But what are you gonna do, you know? Also, gaining life with our spider would have been nice. Not the greatest hand, but passable. They didn't play a 1-drop, so that makes me feel better. Oh god, disfigure off the top, please. No? This could be a problem. Alright, we get to play something here, but if they're a good tempo deck, they're going to be able to kill it or remove it and swing for a bunch. Yep. So they attack for 4. Could be worse. Could be worse. I think we just replay the Butcher. I'm going to play out all the swamps I can in case we draw Corrupt. And I can play the Forest on a turn where I feel like I have to play the Spider, so... Yeah, that's a 4/4. You sack that, yeah. Wow. So they hit us for 7. They do lose their Iconoclast, interestingly enough. A little surprised by that. But... yeah, I mean, I can't really... like, I can blow up the statue, but I have to lose my Butcher. And then I'm still dead. So I think I'm dead. God, I hate it when people say good game when it's not even, like, definite. Like, there are several cards that could save me in this situation, including -1/-1 to their whole board. Maybe I don't have to kill the statue. Maybe I kill something else. Because I can block the statue? No, it still leads to me taking lethal. Ugh. What if I play 2 bodies? Nope, still dead. That was an impressive start. That's definitely the best start I've seen a tempo deck have in this format. Oh my god. Yeah. Yep. That was impressive. Even if we had a pretty good start, I don't know if we could have won. Like, you know, having to wait for Corrupt on 6 mana. It's a long time to wait when you're playing against someone who's going that fast. 5-3 with the Corrupt deck, pretty good. I think that deck had 7 wins in it. It just didn't line up that way. It was a good deck.